for tuning in to the Australian Formula One podcast. Well, Max, it's a little bit sad we're doing our last podcast for the last race of the year. And we want to thank you guys very much. We've had some great comments in the last week and also over the last 2 years, Max, that we've been doing this. And it's been awesome. So thanks very much for your comments, guys.
Yeah, exactly as Pep said, it's been fantastic. I mean, without you guys, us doing this wouldn't be half the fun. And yeah, on the 26th of November, it's
2 years.
Going to be 2 years since we started doing this podcast. And as I said, and as Pep's agreed off camera as well, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't still be doing this. So thanks for your support.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to do our Brazilian preview, but before we do that, just before you send comments or wonder about these models here in front of us, I snaffled these this week. We've got the Williams 84, Lotus 87, Benetton 88, McLaren 89 Classic Max, the Prost 90, and the Mansell 92 World Championship car, mates. Beautiful little 124 scales.
Oh, they're fantastic. As soon as I set my eyes on them today, mate, for the very first time, it just brought back memories. It's nice work, Todd.
Yeah, they're sexy. All right, mate, let's talk about Brazil. And of course, we're moving to the last race, and we've got this big battle between Felipe and Lewis. And we're going to talk about that, obviously. But before that, mate, on our list of things, we've got DC's last race. He's got the special livery and the overalls, and it also could be Rubens' last race. You never know. But
well, one can only hope, mate. Sorry, Rubens, no disrespect. But DC's last race, and I know we've got some very proud Scottish people that make comments, and a sad time for you guys, and I think it's also a sad time for Formula One fans. DC is always good for a soundbite. He was always a solid driver. Was at McLaren during their glory years, mate, and it'll be a different grid next year without David Coulthard on it. So sad times.
Yeah, so we're going to see DC doing commentary for the Beeb, of course. He's not going away, but no more Formula One racing for David. And as I mentioned a minute ago, potentially for Rubens. I feel a little bit sorry for him actually, because he's going to Brazil, and he's not really sure. I guess. I mean, Honda have said Jensen definitely. I think. Yeah. And Rubens has got a little bit of a cloud over him, and he doesn't really know whether he's saying goodbye or not. But it could be his last race, Max.
Yeah, look, I think his time is now. I think Rubens has done enough. I mean, he drove for Ferrari in their glory years, much like DC at McLaren. Yeah, did some good things, and Rubens is a solid driver. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, he's been let down by quite frankly, a horrible Honda.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able to show his wares, but all things aside, Rubens has had a great career, and he's the most experienced Formula One driver in history. But I think now would be a good time.
Now's a good time. Yeah. Maybe
get some young blood in there. Yeah.
All right, Max. Let's move on to Brazil, the race. At the moment, I think there's a 60% chance of wet weather, so that could sauce things up a little bit. And we're doing this episode after practice 2, so we haven't seen quali yet. But mate, it's all about Lewis and Felipe. A lot of banter this week.
It's been great, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of it's been just the normal kind of last race banter, and some of it's been a little bit shitty, I've got to say, with the racial stuff. But either way, mate, it's exciting. And the question is, who's got more pressure? Felipe going into a Brazilian Grand Prix kind of behind, or Lewis with an advantage points wise? But perhaps all these drivers are going to punt him off or something, Max.
It's been hilarious to read drivers' comments saying, "Oh no, it's almost as though they were asked, given the opportunity, would you punt Lewis off the Brazilian Grand Prix?" No, I wouldn't. Look,
I wouldn't do that.
No shit, Sherlock. I mean, this is even Barrichello's been asked, would you, take Lewis out?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that because it wouldn't be fair to Felipe. Of course you wouldn't do it.
No, exactly.
You start 17th or 18th every bloody race anyway. You're not even going to be near him for a start unless you're getting lapped.
Well, Rubens, while he's being lapped, he takes him out. That wouldn't be embarrassing. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is all good stuff. I mean, it's the same point differential this time last year. Heading into the last race, mate, there's 7 points in it. And look, I think Lewis is looking pretty good. As we know, he doesn't have to finish higher than or lower than fifth. He's sitting pretty up.
He is. He's looking really good, and there's been a lot of talk as well about whether Alonso, particularly with his pace in practice and recent Grand Prix performance, whether he's going to play a part. And he's another one saying, look, I don't want McLaren to win it, but I'm not going to punt someone off, just because of spite.
Yeah, Pep and I both had a bit of a chuckle this afternoon when we read Alonso's comments. Lewis and I get on fine. We talk regularly. We have no problems. It's McLaren I don't want to see win. You don't really like Lewis Hamilton. That's pretty obvious. So don't try and bullshit us that you do, because you don't.
Yeah.
The McLaren thing I can understand. You were a nil baby in there. You didn't like it, and they didn't like you. So I can understand that, but don't say Lewis and I are mates.
Yeah, I think we all knew that he doesn't want McLaren to win, but you're right, they're not texting each other on the weekends and saying, what are you up to, mate? Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, well, okay, well, let's get on to the fact that we've had practice, Max, and Lewis has been up there, and Felipe and Alonso and Kimi and Webber.
Practice one, Lewis came second, I think, mate.
He did, yeah.
But practice two...
Practice two was Alonso.
He was in ninth,
yeah.
I think. But the thing is, as we all know, McLaren brought a lot of different aero bits to this race, and you can't test between the last race in China and this race.
Yeah.
So they're doing their evaluations quite naturally during the practice sessions. But Felipe Massa's up there, mate. In the Ferrari.
He is, yeah. He's got pace as well.
Home crowd advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's kind of the usual guys up there, and the grid, depending on fuel loads, I guess, it could be McLaren or Ferrari or someone else.
Well, mate, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself for Lewis. I mean, when you think about it, last year in the first corner, he had a bit of an issue, and then his gearbox started to go, and he ended up finishing the race seventh and handing Kimi the race. So you might not even. None of these drivers might even have to take Lewis out. There might be a mechanical gremlin, I guess, again, but let's hope not.
Yeah, it could be. I'm expecting Lewis to have kind of a, maybe 2 car widths between him and anyone else. He's just going to drive around and make sure he stays out of trouble. I mean, if he's smart, that's what he'll do, but we'll see.
Yeah.
How aggressive are they going to be during the race and at the start? Ferrari are going to be aggressive. I mean, Kimi's already said we've got nothing to lose, and why wouldn't they just go balls out? I mean, just go for gold.
Yeah, you're right. And when you look at McLaren point of view, Lewis doesn't have to do anything silly, because that McLaren, as has been proven all year, is an explosively quick car. So he will qualify either on the front row or the second row at the worst.
Yeah.
Then he just needs to hold station.
Yeah,
the rest of the race, game over. Who cares who wins? It's irrelevant. So again, I think things are still looking pretty good for Lewis.
Now, mate, before we get on to our tips, we should probably give a brief comment. I don't want to talk about too much about this racial bullshit that's gone on this week. I think there's a lot of tough guys on the internet who are anonymous, who sit behind the keyboard, and occasionally we get them here on our channel, and they're just gutless idiots, and it really doesn't mean anything to me. The Spanish thing or anything. I just think it's stupid. And I honestly wish it would go away. I understand why it doesn't, but this bullshit came up again, Max, and it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, you're right, and it is very disappointing, mate. And we've made our feelings on this subject known in the past, as I'm sure all of you are all too well aware. It is very disappointing to see this rearing its ugly head again. I mean, our Spanish friends are passionate sports fans. But we don't need this sort of thing, not only in any sport, but from our perspective, especially not in our sport. And I hope it goes away as quick as it can.
Yeah, and it comes from other people, just not the Spaniards as well, unfortunately. But this has been the most recent thing. So anyway,
enough.
All right, well that's it for this video. We'll see you soon for the next one.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.